love. You're so tired. You're so tired. What you have? You're gonna just fall asleep. Right asleep. Great. See my bed in. Yeah, all right, there you go. There's a bathroom right here. There it is. Little friend.
Oh, sorry. Some functions for you.
Thank you. Chat.
My teeth.
Come here, Swoosh.
I like it a lot. Target focus.
What time is it? That's a time. That's a time.
When are we supposed to receive it?
I feel like they want 6:30.
How long does it take to go through the
Okay, I'll be right back. Some things. I don't know. There's the person here.
Maybe. Let me see if Sophie might.
Oh, amazing. Awesome. Thank you. Introduce myself. Thank you so much.
Joey. I give Joey a pen from your bag. Pen from your bag.
Oh, shucks.
I don't have chocolate in my
I
teeth.
gotta run and reprint one quick thing, so I'll do that, and we'll huddle probably right at 6:30 for a quick moment of intention, and then we'll do things.
Right.
Perfect.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I nod in agreement.
No. Mics are good.
We'll find out later.
I appreciate that we're so that was nice talking to you every single time. I'm very glad that we are.
Yeah, true. I feel like I wish I could breathe more.
What?
Standing's nice because you get more like belly space to breathe.
And do your,
I'll be
do
the
your,
one person belly breathing.
oh, the, what's the thing from the video? No, the song from the singing video.
I'll be the I'll just stand up and take it. Like,
Yeah.
we're singing the song now.
I
No
think
one
we
planned
should.
it. That would be so.
Take it away. Hi, I'm Ori. Yeah.
I'm Sophie. Nice to meet you, Deborah. For sure.
Wait, we're not singing that, are we?
No. Get it out of your head. We're singing this one.
There's no part where it's supposed
And then we're singing. No. Oh, if you want to, we can make that happen. It's like,
I think
there's not.
yeah.
I'm not going to be paying that close attention to you. Sorry. You could, but you want to face like slightly. Be in like a slight,
Yeah.
a slight U shape. And like we're gonna need to look at the words for like. Yeah. And definitely for this one like it's hard to try because when some of the other people look at it, you can kind of like let it wash over you. But when you're leaning look at it, it's like you have to know which one you're on. So I would like finger.
God.
Do we have to sing with our masks on? Do we have to sing with our masks on? No. Okay, great.
Can you speak closer to Castro?
Yes, but the mics. So I'll just have it like this. Is this too close? No, not at all. Hey. Joey said, "How you doing?"
Good.
Joey said we're gonna have a little huddle right at 6:30 to set an intention. But can we position this?
Just print this and we'll get going in about 2 minutes.
Okay. 2 minutes.
Huddle in two, live in two. Actually, we're live right now. Is that the live? That's the live. Wait. We're not singing this song.
MJ's here. Yes. Why? How come you're not
Because MJ. What? She can't. She's like, I'd rather come.
Great.
So we're doing this for him.
I'm gonna give her a hug.
Hear us here? Can we, is this a good, like, oh, the mic's on. Is this a good, I'm just leave it because I think it's good. Can we, if I'm sitting like this, can we, does this work for you? Like,
Oh, if you're turning that way?
yeah, like, this closer.
Yeah, that's fine. Did you read the recording?
When I, I just,
have fallen down, fallen down. All the leaves 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 have fallen down, fallen down. I am the water, earth, fire, and wind. Dig deep my roots and return again. I am the water, earth, fire, and wind. Return again. I am the water, earth, fire, and wind. Dig deep my roots and return again. I am the water, earth, fire, and wind. Return again. I am the water, earth, fire, and wind. Dig deep my roots and return again. I am the water, earth, fire, and wind. Return again. All the leaves have fallen down, fallen down. All the leaves have fallen down, fallen down. All the leaves have fallen down, fallen down.
Welcome. My name is Rabbi Joey. I have brown hair, glasses, and a big grin tonight. Could I ask the band to introduce themselves?
I'm Ori.
I'm Sophie.
Kestrel.
Just like already, wow, if we get a whole another night of spending time in song like that, just like praise the heavens. Is there anyone here in either on Zoom, on live stream, or in our space for the very first time? So good to see you. For you all, for everyone else who maybe hasn't been on our space or hasn't been on Zoom or hasn't been on live stream in a little while, please, I'm also new here. I would love to meet you. Please come up to me after services. I'd love to say hello. And just so good to see your faces. Welcome. Okay, we've arrived. We've made it to Shabbat, everyone. Let's take a big breath in and out. Do you all know about the proliferation of national blank days? It feels like in our calendar, every day has been jam-packed with national days. For instance, we are in National Fig Week, and it's currently National Candy Day, which feels very strategic to Halloween. Exactly. So some of these national days they're sweet and harmless. Grandparents' Day, give your friend a hug day. But partially because I always miss questions about these days at bar trivia, and partially because it just feels like capitalism, I kind of hate the hijacking of our calendar. Anyway, I was thinking about this when I woke up today to Facebook messages about National Jellyfish Day, which actually sounds very cute. And I started thinking about just how made up these days are and how we can proclaim our own days. And so I'd like to take a moment to proclaim it in Minnesota as it's getting cold out and dark, and let's be in Community Day. And also, neighbors, let's mobilize and get out the vote weekend. I'm wondering if there's any days that people would like to proclaim at this moment. Take a second to think about it. Also, Zoom folks, feel free to type them in. Any days that people are wanting to call out? Say it again. Sidor Day, Prayer Book Day. I love it. Any other days that folks are thinking of? Well, let us pray to our prayer books, to the cold weather, to the coming election. Let's come together in prayer today. We bring all these days together by lighting the candles. I'd like to invite up Andy to help us with the lighting. You can find the prayers on page 2.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu
Andy, I want to just honor the work that you've done over the years and over these past Zoom COVID years as the holder of our Thursday Minyan, and particularly honor you and the Minyan as we move into a new season of Bar Mitzvah, as you so beautifully begin the Bar Mitzvah weekend in advance for our kiddos. Do you want to just say a brief word about what you all do together?
Hi, everybody. I'm Andy. Short, brown hair, black kippah, white shirt. And it's a real treat to be able to talk about the Thursday morning 7:45 minyan, because it's very early in the morning. It's a come as you are kind of minyan. So people just roll out of bed, are welcome to eat breakfast, are welcome to be in whatever state of dress they may be in. It's a wonderful place to learn, to pray, to be in camaraderie, also to be there for each other, to say Kaddish, to be there for the B'nai Mitzvahs as they're practicing their parshiot, and an awesome chance to learn together. So check it out. There we are. We're both in person and on Zoom. Most of us are on Zoom these days, but always, everybody's welcome in whatever modality is right for you. So please talk to me if you have any questions. Eager to talk about Minyan. 7:45 a.m.
Thank you so much, Andy. We have one more important piece of business before we start our singing together, which is to give a blessing to Emmy as you turn 40. Emmy, I just have the total pleasure of blessing you. The Hebrew letter mem is representative of the number 40. And so in the tradition of Sesame Street, this blessing is brought to you by the letter Mem. And may this be a decade for you of deeply May it be one that flows like mayim, like water. May it be one that shines out with malchiyot, with majesty, beauty, and grace. May this be a decade of self-discovery, self-growth, and self-love. Emmy, happy birthday. Just on the count of 3, one big woohoo for this milestone. 3, 2, 1. Thank you for letting us embarrass you. We pick up on page 12 in our Sidor, number 3 online to move into Lechune Ranana.
Lechune Ranana,
Page 13 here in our space, page 4 online.
Shiru l'Adonai, shir hadash, shiru l'Adonai, kol haaretz, shiru l'Adonai, baruch hu shemo, baseru miyom leyom, Yeshuato, Shir l'Adonai, Shir Hadash, Shir l'Adonai, Kol haaretz, Shir
me turn to page 17. Page 17 at the bottom of the page, or if you're online, number 5. Last paragraph, 3 lines up from the bottom.
Hold on, let me get my page number. 17. Okay, thanks. It's like a lot to have a guitar and papers and pages. Okay. Here we go, ready? Yeah. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu le'hakodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu le'hakodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu le'hakodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu le'hakodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu le'hakodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu le'hakodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu.
We move to our purple sheet, number 1, number 6 online, Ana Bakoach.
Ana bechoach gedulat yamincha, tatir tzerura, kabel rinat amcha, sareinu, tahareinu, nora. Ana bechoach gedulat yamincha, tatir tzerura, kabel rinat amcha, sareinu, tahareinu, nora. Hi, steady change,
of steady change,
and in the end,
the rolling ocean.
yes, I believe in solid ground, until I saw the earth in motion, in the wind of steady change, and in the end,
the rolling ocean.
Let's take a second to close your eyes. If that feels comfortable. And bring to mind what rest you need this Shabbos and this week to come. Taking a big breath in and out. We open to that rest on page 20, number 7 online, Lecha Dodi.
Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad Hishmi'anu el hamiuchad Adonai echad u'shemo echad v'shemo tiferet v'litila Shabbat, lechu v'necha, ki mekor haberacha, merosh mikedem nesucha, sof maseh b'machshavati lao. Lecha
Shabbat, Penei Shabbat, Nekabela. Mikdash Melech, Ir Melucha, Kum Mitzi, Mitoch HaShecha, Rav Lashevet, Be'emek HaBacha, Ve'hu Yachamol, Alayich Ela'olech Adoni, Likrat Kala, Tenei Shabbat, Nekabela, Olech Adoni, Likrat Kala, Penei Shabbat, Penei Shabbat, Nekabela. Hidnari, Me'afar Kumi, Livshei Beigdei, Tifartecha mi, Ayaden, Ish Bet Halachmi, Karvael, Nafshi Ge'ala, Olech Adoni, Likrat Kala, Penei Shabbat, Nekabela, Olech Adoni, Likrat Kala, Penei Shabbat, Penei Shabbat, Nekabela. Hitoreri, hitoreri, kiva ore, kumi ori, uri, uri, shir daberi, kevod Adonai, alayich nigla, olech Adoni, likrat kala, penei Shabbat, nekavela, olech Adoni, likrat kala, penei Shabbat, penei Shabbat, nekavela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Lo tevoshi velo tikami, mat yesh tochachi umatehemi. Bach yechesu ani eami, venimneta ir altila. Lecha dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Vehayu limshisa shosayich, verachaku kol mevalayich, yasis alayich Elohayich, kimsos chatan al kala. Lecha dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Yamin Lecha dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. Boi v'shalom hateret bala, Gam besimcha uvetzola. Toch emunei am segula, Boi chala, Boi chala. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. Shabbat shalom.
Folks can be seated. We'll take the next 4 minutes to greet folks around us, greet folks on our Zoom screens as well, and we'll come back together in about 4 minutes.
Shabbat shalom.
back together in 30 seconds. Oh, not a problem. Sorry, I made like a little bumper for myself over here. Let's do another. I love how difficult it is to get this group back into order. It just means there's so many good conversations happening. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to those on Zoom and live stream. We turn to page 28, number 8 online, and rise in body or spirit to bring in the evening together, starting on page 28 with Baruch. Ya da 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 ya da no. Ya da 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 ya oh. Hi ya do oh. Ya da ya ya oh. Adonai HaMevorach Baruch Adonai HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed. Let's take a nice big stretch if our body wants it, all the way to the ceiling. To the left, right, wide as we can go. Everyone ends up bonking each other on the head or hugging each other. We stay standing on page 34, number 9 and 10 for the Shema and Ve'ahavta. Shema Yisrael You can be seated. We turn to page 36. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levacha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha v'yechayu הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי צווך היום לברך ושינתם לבניך ותירתם בשבתך בביתך ולכתך בדרך ושוכבך ובקומך ושרתם לאהוד ידך והיו לטוטפות עיניך ובטחתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את מצוותיי והייתם קדושים אלוהיהם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם אלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם אדוני אלוהיכם. We turn to page 40, number 11 online for Micha Mocha.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, מלכותך רעו ובניך, בוקע ים לפני משה ומרים, זה אלינו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. היי עלי עלי, היי עלי עלי, היי עלי עלי, עלי עלי, היי עלי עלי, היי עלי עלי, היי עלי
יעקב וגלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני גל ישראל.
Take a second transitioning from redemption towards wholeness and peace. Page 42, number 13 online.
השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך והקננו בעצה טובה מלפניך השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים השכיבנו אדוני סוכת שלומך ותקננו בעצה טובה מלפניך השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום ותעמידנו שומרנו לחיים ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך ותקננו בעצה טובה מלפניך השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך ותקננו בעצה טובה מלפניך.
We turn to page 44, number 14 online.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
Take a moment to call to mind a word of gratitude from this last week. Just one word that sums up a thing you're feeling grateful for. And then on the count of 3, call it out with passion. 1, 2, 3. Rain. We'll pick up with the Amidah, our standing prayer, standing in body or spirit, starting on page 46 together, starting on number 15 online. Allergy seasons, y'all. Adonai sefatav tiftachu fi agita hilatecha Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise.
Oh, say shalom bimroma. Uyase shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol Israel. Ve'al kol yoshvei tevel. tevel, v'imru, v'imru, amen. Yalla la 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 la, yalla yalla la, yalla la la yalla la, yalla la la yalla la, yalla la 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 la, yalla la la la, yalla la la yalla la, yalla la la yalla la, yalla la 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 la, yalla yalla la, yalla la la yalla la, yalla la la yalla la, yalla la la la. Shalom aleinu ve'akol Yisrael ve'akol yoshvei tevel ve'imru v'imru amen.
We take a moment to type into the chat, say into our hearts or say out loud the names of people in our lives that we're wanting to bring healing this week. I'll start by looking around the room. Feel free to say a name. Feel free to say a name over another name. It'll harmonize in our space together.
Sally.
All the names spoken, all the names typed, all the names that we didn't know to bring forward tonight. We'll sing on your little white sheet. And Misha Berach by our very own Kestrel.
We sing you healing. We sing you care. We sing you justice. We sing you prayer. We sing you healing. We sing you healing. We sing you care. We sing you justice. We sing you justice. We sing you prayer. El Narefana, El Narefana, oh, El Narefana, El Narefana. We justice.
We sing you praise. We sing you healing. We sing you care. We sing you justice.
We sing you justice.
We sing you praise. Just a huge koyach to the musicians. Every Friday, and particularly this Friday, I walk in, sometimes frazzled, running from a week, and it is the people on one side of me or the other singing that just bring me to the ground. So thank you all so much. I want to give just a very gentle content warning. In about 3 minutes, I'm going to talk a little bit about Abraham longing to have a child after decades of failed attempts at fertility in his family. If fertility stuff is feeling heavy for you at this moment, I'd recommend, and this isn't the sort of thing you want to hear about, feel free to take a stretch or a breath or go out and look up at the chilly sky tonight. Okay. 4 years ago, I proposed to my partner on a frozen pond in our neighborhood in Boston. It was the middle of the night on a really cold night, and I had the genius idea of blindfolding Adele, driving her to the pond, walking her out a few feet onto the ice, building a little pillow fort for us, removing her blindfold as we were kind of in our fort, and asking if she wanted to get married. You might be able to guess where this is going. As we wept and laughed, we noticed some flashing lights pouring through the old quilt that was the roof of our fort. Someone had called the cops. Surprise, surprise. Someone called the cops when they witnessed a blindfolded person let out onto ice at 3 a.m. The following conversation followed. Cops, get off the ice. Joey and Dell, we just got married. We just got engaged. Cops, congratulations. Get off the freaking ice now. As the snow gently fell and sirens flashed, we got the heck out of there as fast as we could. I think of this story almost every time I pray. The first blessing of the Amidah contains the conclusion, the end of the beginning of this blessing. Blessed are you, God, Magen Avraham, shield of Abraham. For me, this shield can feel like a challenging military metaphor for God. But when I cast or recast these words, when I recast my God not as a hard shield against arrows, but as the old quilt of a pillow fort on ice, I find myself with the divine that I can open up to. Many years ago, I heard a take on these words, shield of Abraham, from my teacher, Rabbi Eli Konfer, that took my breath away. I want to take you into his reading that will draw us into our Torah portion, Lech Lecha, deep into misunderstanding and renewal of care. Okay. Abraham has been through a lot this week. He and his family, following the instructions of an unknown God, have left their home and everything that they know, survived a famine, and gone through the Bible's most hard-to-follow scene of war. As someone who couldn't make it past page 4 of Game of Thrones, each year I find myself zoning out when I read the battle scene of Genesis 14. Someone's at war with someone else. There's like 9 kings. It's very confusing, totally uninteresting. And then Genesis 15 happens. God opens up this chapter with a verse by asking or ordering Abraham to not fear. God reminds Abraham, I am your shield. I am your Magen Avraham, your Abraham shield, your special Abraham shield. God goes on to say that the divine will give Abraham wealth and safety. I'm fascinated by what goes unstated at the beginning of this chapter. We do not hear anything about Abraham being afraid. God simply says, don't be afraid. God seems to be presuming, coming out of a protracted war, that Abraham might be a little shaken up. And he seems to be telling Abraham, don't worry, I'm here with you. The violence is over, you're safe. Abraham answers God, telling God this wealth of money and safety does him no good. He says, God, what can you give to me as I go childless? The forefather here seems to be telling God, you're right to notice that I'm upset, but wrong about why I'm upset. I'm not really freaked out about that war. I really want a kid. Sarah and I have been trying for decades, and that hasn't happened yet. My teacher, Rav Eli, notes 2 kind of incredible things about this scene. Number 1, God gets it wrong. We might presume that God is all-knowing, sees into our deepest selves or souls or whatever, but maybe not. Maybe God, like us, strives to care, but sometimes says the wrong words. Number 2, Abraham is just remarkably emotionally honest. We don't necessarily, when you hear Abraham, you don't necessarily think about like dude in touch with his emotions, but right here, he's so honest. He doesn't simply say, yes, God, so powerful, thank you for this protection, it's great. Instead, he says, dude, I'm struggling right now, please see me, see what I really need. We are witnessing here what feels akin to the first time in a partnership or a friendship when things get real. That first moment when conflict or hurt arise and both sides learn how to trust and care for each other in a deeper way. To put it differently, we are seeing the genesis of a real relationship between God and humans. Okay, great. Nice scene. Everyone now likes Genesis 15 as much as I do, maybe. But what does this have to say to us tonight? These words, Magen Avraham, call out to us in every prayer service. Again, they are the words that we say near the beginning of the Amidah, calling out to in these words, you might suspect that we might do something a little different. You might suspect that we should start our Amidah by calling out to the divine who is all-powerful, who always gets it right. You might think that we should call out with words that speak of how worthy and awesome we are to deserve such a powerful God. Instead, our prayers are calling us back to this scene of paradigmatic God misunderstanding. We are calling out to a divine, saying, God, we are complicated and not always easy to know or love or care for. Please, God, try anyway. God, know that we might be a mess and might not appreciate your care in any given moment, but we want to be in relationship. Calling out these words, I think, to God or the universe or whatever, might provide us practice for doing the world's hardest thing, asking for help when being truly ourselves, acknowledging hurt and pain and love in relationship, saying out to our loved ones and or the divine, you didn't care for me in the way that I needed. Could we talk about it? And this hardest stuff about being human and connected is just the beginning. It is the opening salvo of our prayers and of our relationships, the icy foundation on which the pillow fort of our intimacy and holiness might be constructed. Shabbat shalom. We bring it out with a blessing for the community, which can be found on our purple sheets or number 18 online. Makom Minion, please, as always, provide us with blessings in chat when we pause. Hamalach hagoel oti. Hamalach hagoel oti mikora. Yivarech et hanaharim. Vayikra v'shem shemi. V'shem avotai. V'shem avotai. Avraham v'yitzchak. V'yigdu la'arov. V'yigdu la'arov. B'kerev haaretz. Yismechem Elohim k'Sara k'Rivka k'Rachel u'Chelea k'Ephraim v'chi Menashe. Feel free to cuddle up. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichunecha. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. Yadai Yam May we find the strength within ourselves to be emotionally honest. May we live in the world we deserve. May we be honest and patient as we share our inner feelings and support others in need. May we all have pillow forts in our life. May we become more comfortable in the past weeks. Oh, I'm so sorry. May our spirit be filled with this honey this week and not just vinegar. May we all find the blessings we need. May we be able to reach out for help when we need it. And may the divine continue to learn how to support us and nurture us. May we all take in the wonder of the beautiful and complicated humans around us. May we find rest for our hearts and our minds. May we feel the solidarity of the ice, the solidity of the ice beneath us, and the warmth of the magen around us. May we all have a safe place to call home. May we help ensure no one must rely on fabric for shelter by voting for candidates who support affordable housing or assisting others in so voting. May we find safety and comfort. May we breathe deep this coming week and know that our community is strong. Yiridai-ya-yadai-ya-yado. Yiridai-ya-yadai-ya-yo-ya-ya-yo. Ya-ya-yadai-ya-yadai-yo. We begin the beginning of the end on page 284, number 19 online. V'hashevota
elevavecha ki Adonai hu Elohim v'hashevota elevavecha ki Adonai hu Elohim v'nemar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu
You can take a seat. In a couple minutes, we'll pick up on page 294, number 20 online with Mourner's Kaddish. Before we say these words, though, we have a chance to remember folks in our community and to remember folks in our families and our broader lives. I'll read a list of people we're remembering collectively as a community. If you hear a name that you'd like to say a memory of, like one sentence-ish story about who that person was to you, please flail wildly so I see you. And everyone else, it's your job to draw my eyes off the list and towards the folks. Folks on Zoom, please feel free to share names and memories in the chat. If you don't hear the name of someone that's on your mind tonight on this list, we'll also pause afterwards for folks to contribute other names. We're in the Shaloshim, the first 30 days after burial, for Rabbi Sheldon Switkin, father of Abby Riskin, father-in-law of Sarah Riskin, and grandfather of Ari, Nava, and Miriam. We're in the Shaloshim also for Chelsea Nutting's grandmother. We're remembering the yard site of Jerry Benovitz, Mindy Benovitz's grandmother.
I always remember when she died because it was that huge snowstorm in 1991. And then she had a stroke and died 5 days later. But she was, I knew her all the way, like up into my 30s. And I would love to sleep over at her house. She was the best cook. She made all the Jewish goodies and would gather us for like Passover and the holidays. And it was loving.
And poppy seed cookies for these guys' first commitment ceremony. We're remembering Nick Caffarelli, Leslie Caffarelli's husband.
He was a very gentle, loving man who loved his dog.
So Nick was a great guy, and he was always a greeter at high holidays. And we had a little joke because I would always call him the bouncer. Part of it because he could jump up and down happily, but that was our little thing. He's such a sweetheart.
We're remembering Jerry Cohn, Karen Cohn's husband and father of Tammy. We're remembering Philip Cooper, Elaine Rudnick's father.
I don't think I need the mic.
For folks at home.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry about that. Well, my parents had 6 children. My father was always busy working. He didn't have time for many outside activities until he retired. And then I remember he went to the JCC and he started to draw, and I never knew that he could do that. But he was a really, really hard worker. Took good care of us.
Sorry for screwing up your name. Joe Ettinger, Ron Ettinger's father. Ida Luger, Lorraine Luger's grandmother.
My grandmother would cook in volumes, not so much the quality, but the quantity was amazing. And it was overwhelming, but some of us really stood up to it. And it was just, we did an oral history years and years ago. I don't think my grandmother ever learned to read or write in English, but this is just a suspicion that I have. But the volumes of the food was equal to the amount of love that you have.
Samuel Nastet, Richard Natstet's father. Gerald Rubin, Judith Brooks' father. George Seltzer, Matthew Seltzer's father.
George was my father-in-law, and he was a secular Jew, and what he loved about being Jewish is his bagels and his matzah and his gefilte fish, and he was very proud of coming from Chicago, from a very poor family, getting a good education, and very proud of his family. A great man.
Karen Semp, Duann Mednick's mother. Gordon Schaefer, Wendy Edgar's father. Robert Silverman, Beverly Fitzgerald and Sylvia Kaplan's father. Ernest Stiefel, Rabbi Sharon Stiefel's father. Mary Turk, Mary Turk's grandmother. Eva Vardis, Boris Sislog's grandmother. Leonard Vinicor, Barbara Schultz's father. Dr. I. Bernard Weinstein, Miriam Weinstein's uncle. Gertrude Trudy Wolf, Larry Wolf's mother. Charlene Yelshin, Lisa Brownstein's aunt. Nathan.
No worries. So my Aunt Char was my father's sister, and I remember going to her house for Passover, and she was always so self-conscious about making matzo ball soup and the matzo balls that would sink or float. And we would always just, it was just an ongoing, I mean, they were fine, but we just gave her a hard time about them being sinkers. So I think she was plagued with that for most of her life, but.
It is apparently the week to throw shade on our ancestors' cooking. And I kind of, not that superstitious of a person, but I'm a little paranoid about what the spirits are going to do to my cooking over this next week. Nathan Zeldis, Hirsch Berman's uncle. And Mildred Zuckerman, Jeffrey Zuckerman's mother. We'll turn to the mourner's Kaddish. Oh, I'm so sorry. Other names, yes.
I'm remembering Jolene Rocky Partain, who died this week after 8 months of living with pancreatic cancer. And she wrote the most luminous blog on Caring Bridge that taught all of us about what it is to face a terminal diagnosis with grace.
I'm remembering a close family friend, Ellie Horowitz, who died this week, and the word close doesn't really capture it. The Horowitzes lived across from the street from us in Chevy Chase, Maryland, and if you were looking for my mother, she was over at Ellie's house cooking, and if you're looking for Ellie, she was over at our house cooking or just having coffee. And I would make a point to always visit with Ellie when I would go home for a visit. And I'm comforted knowing that she died surrounded by her family.
I am in the year of mourning for my mom, Frances, and my heartmate, Carol Jean.
I'm remembering Melvin Ascott, who was my mother's second husband. Her second Melvin, because my mother had a policy of only marrying Melvins. In the month after my father, Melvin number 1, died, she quickly started dating and fell deeply in love with this man and only waited long enough to marry him so that it wouldn't be a shanda in the community. My father was the love of her youth. Mel Ascott was the love of her life. I did not like Mel Ascott for reasons that don't bear discussing because he's not here to defend himself. But the love he gave my mother and my mother's love for him made her better in ways that allowed she and I to be in a relationship.
This may seem, is this turned on? Yeah. This may seem a little inappropriate, but I think when you hear, you'll understand. And excuse me. 2 days ago, I found out that my service dog had cancer, and we had to put her down. So that's what's going on.
Behind you.
I'm remembering my dear friend Carol Saveda. She passed away in June, and she was a soul sister. She asked everyone to wear color to her funeral, and at the end of Shiva that first night, with no rain at all, there was this huge rainbow that filled the sky. So, Carol Saveda, I love you.
Today is the second yard site of my partners and my friend and late coworker Camille Jones, and she just brought a lot of joy into the world.
Is there anyone else?
Oh, yeah, perfect. Okay, cool. Awesome. So I'm in the first 30 days of remembering my best friend's mother, Roxanne Fields, and she made the absolute best margaritas and lemon meringue pie every time we were at her house. And that woman was a joy of my life for raising one of my absolute favorite people.
Anyone else? All the stories told here, all the stories and names typed into the chat on Zoom. Just like I'm feeling all the spirit in a palpable way right now. So thank you all so much for bringing in those stories. We'll turn to Mourner's Kaddish on page 294, number 20 online. Feel free to rise in body or spirit. Yitgadal v'yikdash shemei Rabbah be'alma divra chirute ve'amlich malchute b'chai echon u'v'yom echon u'v'chaye dechol beit Yisrael b'gala u'bizman kari v'yamru amen. Yehesh me Rabbah mivarach le'olam olmei olmaya Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemen dekucha berechu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiram be'alma v'yimru amen. Yehe shlama Rabbah min Shemaya V'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imramav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshte ve'vel v'imru amen. You can be seated. I will call up MJ for announcements. The second to last one.
Shabbat Shalom. How amazing it is to be together in person through the ether. We feel you here and hope you feel us back at you. My name's MJ Gilbert. I am representing the board, and I get to give the announcements, which is really fun. Join the board. You can give announcements. At the end of this service, please remember to return your prayer books to the usher table, and if you would separate the song sheets from their prayer books, that is a blessing and a great help to the beloved humans who are putting the books away for us tonight. There is a lot going on at Shir Tikva, and all the deets are available in the weekly e-news, which we hope you are getting, or on the website. Please vote. If you haven't registered to vote, you can register to vote at your polling site. Don't let anybody mess with you. And vote. And help your neighbors and your friends to vote. Help your children to vote. Vote for your children. If you are someone who is actively involved in organizing Get Out the Vote and are comfortable with this notion, would you raise your hand so that after services, if somebody wants to engage in Get Out the Vote between now and Tuesday, they can find you and talk to you? If you're a human who meets that description, would you raise your hand? That very confusing description. Thank you. Thank you, and thank you, and thank you, and vote. If you would like some community support in voting, or maybe even on the way to November 8th, I voted today, thank you very much. Check in with the folks who are raising their hands. The folks. Hey, folks. On Sunday at 1 p.m., we will be holding a learning session and workshop with Master Educator Eliana Light. Eliana will be leading a session on Zoom entitled The Deep Dive, a Multifaceted Approach to Tefillah. If you haven't learned with Eliana before, this is an amazing chance to learn with one of the leading figures in creative Jewish prayer. There are so many people to thank tonight. Rabbi Joey, what a gift you are. Seriously. And all these other amazing gifts. Sophie Guterrell, Kestrel Feiner Homer, Ori Wasserberg, thank you. Amazing. Just amazing. The Macomb Minion, thank you. David Bailey, Julie Jacobs, Lori Sweet, thank you to our Shomrim for your steady presence. In the spirit of the Jewish tradition of giving, we invite donations to support Shir Tikva's vision, educational programs, accessible services, social justice work. This place, physically, this place, emotionally and spiritually, needs our support in all the ways we can provide it. So please, after Shabbat, give it some thought. Say the Give to the Max is coming up. So invest in us and ask us to invest back in you. Those are all my announcements. Shabbat Shalom. I love announcements.
We will end with Kiddush, with Motzi, and with one more song from these beautiful people. You guys have probably been thanked like 10 times tonight, but just thank you, thank you, thank you. You can find the words for our blessing of the wine on page 5. If the 3-year-old me could only know that part of my job is getting to drink grape juice in front of people, I would be so deeply joyous. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, barei puri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho, v'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh bereshit, ki hu yom techila lemikra kodesh, zecher lemtzion Mitzrayim, ki vanu v'charta, otanu kidashta, im kol hamim, v'shabbat kodshecha, Be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu. Brucha at Shechina mekadeshet HaShabbat. Thank you to Dave. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz,
Shabbat shalom. Ayadadai, 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 ayadadai. Shabbat shalom.
Thanks. We had lots of fun.
Good to see you. Shabbat shalom.
So we have this like block of enthusiasm.
I know, seriously.
Thank you so much.
That's
This is
great.
so fun.
This is great. This is so fun.